Thank you very much. Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here. I'm Sylvain Forté, CEO and co-founder of SESAMm. So SESAMm is an AI company that extracts information from billions of documents from the web and translates them into risk insights, in particular monitoring ESG risks. We're a team of around 100 people. We work with major financial institutions and corporates worldwide, and we just finalized a Series B raise that we announced a few weeks ago. So the use case that I wanted to describe today is more of a corporate use case. It's leveraged a lot by procurement teams at banks, at insurance companies, and at large corporates worldwide. And the goal is basically to find a way to better track suppliers, to do supply chain analysis and risk analysis in real time. And this is actually a pretty big issue. So suppliers represent both a reputational and an operational team for a lot of corporates. And I think the current situation with these regional banks such as Signature Bank or Silicon Valley Bank have shown this supplier risk more and more to the world. So what we're doing at SESAMm is we're automatically analyzing these billions of contents to understand the controversies that could emerge and that therefore could lead to the exclusion or selection of specific suppliers in a portfolio. So let's look at the very first use case. So as you can see here displayed, we're looking at Signature Bank, a regional US bank, as you know, that was closed recently by the US regulator, in particular due to these uncertainties that have emerged in the crypto assets business and that led to the kind of bank run that we know today. And so what the platform tells us is automatically it classifies all of the articles and messages that we find from millions of different websites, translates them into risk metrics, identifies the specific risk category that they are associated with, such as crime, fraud, or embezzlement, for example, and automatically assesses the severity of each individual event. So we can see, of course, here for Signature Banks that there is a high governance risk that is expressed. But what's really interesting in this situation is that it actually emerged as soon as February, and the most critical controversies that we've seen actually occurred at the beginning of February, around the start of that crypto assets uncertainty and all of the links related to FTX. So this is really a way to extract content from billions of documents at once and to have that live, constant monitoring of suppliers for these procurement teams. And what our clients do is they basically receive these alerts by email. One of your suppliers is exposed to a critical risk. You should act, you should engage, you should exclude potentially that supplier. And they also receive this information in the form of portfolio views, where they can analyze all of the suppliers at once. And every week, for example, every month or every quarter, take a look at this list and say, which are the suppliers that I should prioritize in terms of risk analysis? And you can see here on that view, on a small portfolio of companies, you can see some major names that are emerging and that you've typically heard in the past few months in the market, such as FTX or Adani, for example, which are suppliers for a lot of global corporations. And so the system is currently trusted by major financial institutions, such as Raiffeisen Bank, for example, local banks such as Crédit Mutuel Arca in France that is tracking thousands of local suppliers with the solution, including very small ones because we have so much information, so many contents available, and even private equity firms such as Carlyle, for example. And the benefits of the solution, the first one and the most, I think, differentiating aspect of what we do is the number of companies we can cover. So we cover more than 5 million companies, and with AI, we can automatically track very small private suppliers locally in each individual country and automate that process that is typically done manually in a lot of teams or not done at all after the first due diligence process. In addition to that, we have more than 15 years of data. So for any supplier that is assessed, we can actually look at past controversies and see whether something may be buried in the history of that supplier that may lead you to not choose it as a potential supplier. And so there are a lot of benefits and opportunities, and our purpose is really to say the due diligence process on a supplier should not stop after the first phase, after the onboarding. It should be a constant process, and with this system, we're receiving daily information in a way that is completely passive for the users and completely automated. As you can imagine, the second example that we're going to show here is on Silicon Valley Bank. And again, this is just to show the kind of critical risks that suppliers can expose corporates to. and also with the current news in the market. And so we're here in a slightly different situation. So we're saying we're not monitoring, we're doing the initial due diligence. We just want to accelerate the reputational due diligence of that supplier at the moment of onboarding. And so we can do a lot of things with the platform. So we can automatically select Silicon Valley Bank and all of the underlying entities from our knowledge graph. More than 5 million companies are covered. We can select a specific type of risk or create our own custom risk from the platform. Here, we just selected governance risk. And we can immediately access the underlying contents and rank them by negative sentiment, for example. So if you want to avoid, let's say, forgetting or not finding that content that was on page 16 of Google, you can just rank that by sentiment and tell the platform, give me the worst that ever happened on that specific supplier. I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything. And Silicon Valley Bank is actually an interesting example because, as you can see on the charts, there's of course major increases in volumes of data in the recent days, but as soon as January, there had been very significant drops in sentiment. And so there were some kinds of early warnings and signals in the market that could lead a procurement team to believe that it may create an issue in the future. So all in all, this is a system that allows our clients, and especially in that case for suppliers analysis, supply chain analysis, procurement teams, to automatically analyze millions of companies based on news contents, blog, forum, websites, NGO websites, including all of the local contents that are available in full transparency, because as you can see, any shift in an indicator, any risk insight can be linked back to an individual article, to an individual content, so full audit track on what you're generating as a score. And as I mentioned before, available on millions of companies, which is really unique for the firm. So please come speak to us. Please come to our booth. It's on the left of the room, and very happy to kick you off on a free POC or free trial. You can visit our website at SESAMm.com. Thank you very much.